Yeah, good morning my dear students. Today I am going to discuss about the various methodology or procedure involved in TLC. So what is the first important methodology in TLC? We have to prepare the TLC plates using the microscopic slides. So there are various methods we are using. Already we discussed in a detailed manner. One is called pouring, spreading, spraying and dipping. So most widely used is spreading method that we are basically using, right? The second, after preparing the TLC plates, the second important step is activation of the plates. Why we are doing activation of the plates? In order to remove the moisture present in the plate. So activation has been done with 50 to 60 degrees centigrade for 15 to 20 minutes in order to remove the water molecules from the silica gel slurry. The third step is spotting of the sample. So spotting of the sample is done with the help of microcapillary tube or with the help of micro syringe, right? So the sample is deposited at about 1 centimeter from the bottom of the plate, and the sample volume, how much we are using in TLC, will be few microliter. So the small spot will be made which is covering the diameter of 1 to 3 millimeter as such. The fourth important step is preparation of the mobile phase as well as the saturation of the mobile phase. Basically we have to take the mixture of organic solvents and then we prepare together, and then we just go for saturating the mobile phase with the atmosphere so as to get the uniform straight line solvent front. If we are not saturating the mobile phase with the atmosphere, we will get the curved solvent front where the center spots will be moving very faster as compared with the corner spots, right? So therefore the mobile phase saturation is very important in TLC. Now the next important fifth step is development technique. Development technique is basically called as elution. So what we are doing here, if you look at here in the diagram, we will take the plate. Already we spot the sample here. So the mixture, it is a mixture of the component. Here we are keeping the mobile phase in the bottom, right? And this is a development tank or the development chamber which is having a closed lid also on the top, right? So we can use the simple beaker as the development chamber for the small microscopic slide, and particularly for TLC we are using different type of chambers like twin trough chamber can be used for development technique. So inside this we are keeping the mobile phase which is the solvent. Then we will be having this sample spot mixture, and once the solvent will be flowing through the TLC plate by capillary action in ascending direction, so the sample will be getting separated, right? So individual separated spot will be there. So till which area the sample will be moving, that is called the solvent front. The solvent to whichever area it is moving, it is called the solvent front, right? So that is also very important, and this is the development chamber as such. And the silica gel is the stationary phase here which is coated on the TLC plate, particularly silica gel G. So the TLC plates are developed by ascending technique, and the development of the plates is done by immersing the plate in mobile phase such that 0.5 centimeter of the plate is dipped in the solvent, right? After developing the TLC plate in the development tank or in the development chamber, we have to take it out. Once the solvent front is running 2/3 of the plate, you have to remove the plate outside, and then you go for drying of the plate in an oven at 50 to 60 degrees centigrade for half an hour. After drying, the next important step is detection or visualization of the spots. So we are using basically two methods. One is called non-destructive method, another one is called destructive method. In non-destructive method, we are not doing destruction of the sample. Rather, we are using to identify the sample with the help of simple techniques like UV chamber method or iodine chamber method. In UV method, as a non-destructive technique, we are using either short wavelength UV region 254 nanometer or the long wavelength UV region 365 nanometer. Or sometimes if your component contains double bond, it can be easily identified by unsaturation just by dipping the plate inside the iodine chamber, right? The another one is destructive method. Destructive method can be used, that is nothing but specific spray reagents can be used as a destructive method. For example, we are using ninhydrin in acetone for identifying the amino acids. Most of the amino acids are giving purple color if we are spraying it with ninhydrin reagent. It is a specific spray reagent for identifying the particular sample. The last step is identification of the sample spots by calculating the RF value. So this is a qualitative parameter. What is called RF value? Relative front or retardation factor value. This RF value is used to calculate the distance, the ratio of the distance moved by the solute to the distance moved by the solvent front. right? So this is the distance moved by the solute, right? So this is the distance from here where we are spotting the sample to here. This is the distance moved by the solute, whereas the distance moved by the solvent front is from here to here. This is the distance moved by the solvent front, right? So how much distance the solvent has been traveled, right? So this distance, whatever you are getting, this is called RF value. So if you multiply the RF value with 100, we call them as HRF value. Sometimes in natural products we are using HRF value. This RF value is a qualitative parameter. For every substance, the RF value will be different in different mobile phase what we are using. Next comes the two-dimensional TLC. What is called two-dimensional TLC? We are moving the plate in 2 dimensions. That means what we are doing, we apply the sample deposition here. Then we are running the sample with the first solvent, right? After drying and after drying the plate, then what we have to do, you rotate the plate at 90-degree angle. Again you are running the sample, right, by using a second solvent system as such, right? So if you are running in 2 dimensions, it is called two-dimensional thin layer chromatography, right? For example, if you want to separate the amino acids by two-dimensional TLC, so first solvent system what we are using is butanol, acetic acid and water in the ratio of 4:1:5. And the second solvent system what we are using is phenol water system, right? So once we have 20 amino acids, all 20 amino acids will be very clearly separated if we use the two-dimensional TLC plate. It just acts as a counter map to identify where the amino acids will be located in the particular TLC plate. So this is an observation of two-dimensional chromatography. So two-dimensional TLC is very, very widely used in most of the cases. If you want to identify the bulk samples or if you want to identify the separation of the sample from a more number of mixture components, then we can go for two-dimensional TLC, right? There is another parameter called resolution. Resolution, when 2 spots are getting separated in the TLC chromatogram, we are using a parameter called resolution. So resolution is defined as the separation of 2 analytes on the TLC chromatogram, right? So what is the formula for resolution? RS is given as distance between the center of the spots divided by average diameter of the spots. So if you have 2 spots here, the distance between the center of the spots will be coming in the numerator, and average diameter of the spots, if you have 2 spots together, the average diameter of the spots will be coming in the denominator. So this will give the resolution for your TLC as such, particularly for 2 sample analytes. Now what is an advantage of this TLC technique? It is a simple equipment, simple sample preparation is there, and mobile phase required is very, very less. It is less time consuming method, low cost and have the high sensitivity, and easy detection and having the high reliability, and wide choice of detection of selection of stationary phase as well as the mobile phase. So therefore these are all the very important advantages of thin layer chromatography technique. Whereas the disadvantages are over large spots formation, right? You have a large spots formation, this is one of the drawback, and some spots appeared as streaked spots. This is also a problem in TLC, right? Sometimes uneven migration will also be there. So these are all the disadvantages of thin layer chromatography. Thank you, my dear students. Thank you very much.